Lisa Duignan, thank you so much for bringing me to your favourite bar, the Flight Club in Shoreditch.
Yeah, a little bit tempted to just pick the local at home when you asked me to pick a favorite bar, but I said I'd think a little bit more about it and try to figure where have I been before that I'd love to go back to, or where have I been that I'd love if we had a version of it in Dublin or Leitrim, where I'm from. Um, and this is a place that we used to go quite often for team socials when I lived and worked in London. And the whole idea of it, it's like social darts, but in a bar setting. So they've got all these kind of booths. You rent a booth, you've got a dart board that's
That's
it
a
behind you there.
dartboard. That's a dart.
Yeah, it's a dartboard, but it's like a virtual dartboard. So there's all the games are pre-programmed. So you can pick team games and divide everybody up. You can pick individual games. The digital side makes it really interactive. The screen's going wild and music is playing when somebody wins the game. But what I loved about it was that it was something we could do with a team that was kind of fun for everybody, because we don't all drink and not everybody enjoys, standing with a pint in their hand for 2 or 3 hours. Lots of different reasons why people choose not to or don't want to drink, but it's just a really nice kind of inclusive way of doing something that's fun. People have the opportunity to have a drink if they want, but if they don't want to, there's loads of fun, there's loads of activity. It's just a lovely thing to do.
Isn't it so through? And you've seen this transition. Pubs of old were there for one solitary purpose: drink.
Yeah.
The ones before it had multiple purposes, like you bought your food there, you gave your turf accountant the bet and stuff. Pubs now that are surviving are multidiscipline, catering for all, food and all the rest of it. So what I love about this one is the minute I brought up the picture, oh by the way, oh sorry, after telling people we're not actually live in the place. But anyway, it feels like you're in the middle of a carousel.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Fun. The minute you look at it, you go fun, and it makes you smile. And it's certainly, until you just said darts, yeah, would work, should work. Um, and I'm absolutely now convinced that I'm going to go and visit one of these places to see how it actually does work in purpose. So you said you were going to introduce us to your home pub in Leitrim. For those that aren't overly familiar with Ireland, Leitrim is sort of in the middle, right? Ish.
It's northwest. Yeah, northwest. So I wouldn't say fully Midlands. You're probably more westy, as we would say. Definitely
But
coasty country.
it's definitely one of the spots in between the coasts.
Yeah, we have a
Just
little, very, very little bit of coastline. Not an
is
awful lot to write home about, but still a lovely place to live.
it the smallest county? No, that's loud, is it?
Yeah, we have a very small population. But yeah, we make up for it.
Great answer. So there's a lightning strike, and all of these beautiful lights in the pub go out. You look at your phone, and the only thing you have left is three apps. Just three. What are they?
Oh, I feel like I'm saying the same as everybody else, but WhatsApp, have to keep in contact. We all love WhatsApp. Spotify, I think, yeah, music is just like, the soundtrack to life, really. I'd find it really hard to go without music for too long. And you can get podcasts on Spotify now as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy. And last one would, probably be Instagram. The thing I love about Instagram is that, it's not, I think we picture it as just another social media app, but to me, it's actually like, the modern magazine, because you can create the content that you want to see. You can follow the people that you're interested in, the topics that you're interested in. And it's kind of like a live magazine that's been updated in your hand every day. So I love that aspect of it. It's a nice way to switch off, have a little scroll in the evenings, as long as you put it down at the right time and you're not stuck to it too close to bedtime.
How is that? How do we do that more? Discipline. Because we're trying to teach our children discipline. You should, it's like the old days. You shouldn't be smoking. It's very bad for you.
Yeah, I think you need to use the time. Like, there's timers now that you can set on your phone to say, like, I want a time limit of 45 minutes on that app. After that, and then it, like, you feel bad because it's warning you, going, you spent 45 minutes looking at this today, and you're thinking of how you might have better spent that time. So that's a good way to catch yourself.
That's a great way because it's a bit like the Fitbit and stuff. We're all so competitive, uh,
Yeah,
and you want to beat so do it in reverse that you give yourself a timer on Spotify. To your exact point, um, it's just brilliant. It definitely got me through COVID.
yeah,
No question. Um, and to your point about your Instagram, it links you stuff. What I loved about Spotify was that it plays one song from one artist or genre that you like, and then it introduces this whole new playlist, should you want, of that same era or and it
yeah,
does become, to your point, a soundtrack of your life.
yeah. The algorithms on it are brilliant. Like it really seems to get it spot on. So I think that's a universal. Everybody loves it.
There's a good algorithm. We found it. That's the one, our music one. So what about productivity? You're a busy woman. You're running an international team. You're running a house. You're running all this type of stuff. How do you stay productive with all that going on?
Um, Thinking about that question, like it's tempting to try and say something really wise or work orientated, but like honestly, the thing that I try to bring, I'm not great at this. I don't always bring myself back to it, but the thing that I try to level myself with regularly is just like how I suppose lucky and privileged we are to get to do this type of thing for work, like to get to work in an industry that's really interesting, lots of different characters, lots of great people, interesting clients, projects, never gets boring. Most people are quite well paid for it. Like it's kind of anything on top of that is just the cherry on top. Like we're so lucky to get to do it. And if you are finding yourself kind of getting a bit bored or a bit fed up, or you have a stressful day, like kind of sometimes you just have to catch yourself maybe walking into work or about to go on a meeting and realize, I really like working with these people. I really like what I'm going to do today. What's the problem? Kind of get on with it and enjoy it as much as you can.
That context and being grateful. Is that just being great? Is that what we're saying here? That just every so often, just be grateful?
I think so. I suppose, especially in the world at the moment, like, there's so much going on that I think people
Mm,
are looking a bit more inward and just realizing the level of privilege that we have, in a lot of parts of the world
mm.
and acknowledging that and yeah, being grateful for it, I suppose.
So you're not really going to be getting up at 8 a.m. doing yoga, then Pilates at 6:30, going for a jog, coming back, and then just being superwoman. No.
No, I mean, I think it's important to try and do all the right things, exercise, nutrition, like look after yourself, just try to have the best possible life that you can and make the most of your time. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be super locked down to any particular routine. I think you have to go with the flow a little bit. Life is too busy to be rigid. That works for some people, but different phases of your life will work for you. You have to be able to move.
Is isn't that such an important point? Different phases of your life. You know,
Yeah,
that's where sometimes you mentioned Instagram and that's where sometimes it goes against people because they're measuring themselves against someone maybe the same age, possibly
yeah.
very different stuff going on in their lives, right?
Yeah, I'm actually laughing now that you say that. I'm like, what, when I lived in London, I was one of those people that was up at 5:30, going to like a workout class, then going to the office.
Yeah.
So I'm nearly forgetting already, going, "Nah, I don't do stuff
Yeah.
like that anymore. I'm not that strict." But I was, yeah, but it's just different seasons of life.
Yeah, just different phases, and I think that context is often lost on a video or on a picture, and
Yeah.
that's what we have to learn and teach our gang coming through. But it can be difficult sometimes. Quotes? You weren't as badly affected in school that you never wanted to hear a quote or a poem or a excerpt from a play? Have you got a quote that you like?
I have loads of quotes that I like.
Do
This is the
you?
problem with Instagram. You see so much stuff and you're like, screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. And then
Okay.
it's actually hard to go back and pick your favorite because, yeah, I seem to see stuff all the time that I'm like, yeah, that's really helpful.
Okay, what's the favorite?
My favorite is actually not, it's not by anybody famous. It was actually on the wall of a sports shop in Toronto when I worked out there for a year. And it just said, this is not your practice life. This is all there is. And I think it was intended to like motivate people to get up and go for a run or whatever, because they're selling sports gear. But I remember just looking at it going, Jesus, like, I took a picture of it, like, and it always stayed with me. And I seen other quotes by more famous people, that there's one like from Marcus Aurelius that sort of says, think of yourself as dead. You've lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. But just that idea of like, this is it. Like, whatever time you have ahead of you now, like, don't be wasting it, because life is fragile and precious and wonderful, most of the time, hopefully for us, and just trying to make the most of what's there ahead of you and use your time as well as you can.
You're way too young to be so wise. Did you live before, maybe? Are you actually coming back? You've lived twice before now, have you, or something? Because
No, I think if you spend enough time scrolling on Instagram, you pick up all these quotes from really wise people, and then you can kind of, you think you've come up with them yourself, but you
I
haven't.
know, but isn't that the key thing? I mean, most of the great quotes that I have and carry through my life, I got through Billy Connolly, genuinely. It just is what it is. But it often reminds me what you've said about sort of not from somebody famous or not this. We went through an era when I was in my young career where you'd have to remember whatever company you're working with, a mission statement that was about 5 chapters. Yeah. Nobody could remember. And
Yeah.
then finally, one of my senior people came in and he said, forget about all that. Here's our mission statement: get shit done.
I
Every
like it.
single one of us remembered it, understood it, got behind it, interpreted it, and that was a learning for me in itself. Is somebody was being paid to make something so complicated that they could feel that they were clever. Nobody understood it, but that wasn't the point. And your man came in and he said, okay, that's great. Just get shit done, will you? I loved it. And I always
Yeah.
try to bring that forward in what we're talking about. And you said that there, not from somebody famous and all the rest of it, but it actually is just impact, isn't it? Impact on you.
Yeah. And sometimes done is better than perfect. If you're tiptoeing around trying to get something perfect all the time, you'll never take the next step forward.
Well, you must be spending too much time with engineers, spreadsheets,
Probably.
and algorithms.
Yeah.
You know,
No, we've had a lot of wise people to work with over the years. We've had
yeah,
Denise with us, who's done the Barstool Chat before. Lots of people to learn
yeah,
from and take great life experiences from.
yeah. And that's true. It's very true. Is the old saying my mother used to use is if you want to know what the road is ahead, ask somebody coming the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Very helpful, particularly if you're driving around Leitrim, or should I have said that?
No, it's fine. Google Maps. If you pick that as one of your 3 apps, you'll be fine when you come down to visit.
I will. Are you there now? You live there? Is that your
No,
base?
no, I'm in our Dublin office, but
Yeah.
I'll be back here later.
Okay. Listen, Lisa, it's been short and sharp and sweet and great, and we've been all over the place. We've solved so many problems of the world. I just like to say thank you. It's been good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and welcome to Host in Ireland.
Thanks a million. Lovely talking to you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.